And we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Code Live with Google Cloud, live from Next 25 in Las Vegas. Very exciting. This is our debrief recap stream. You have all seen so much, whether you're here or watching online. And so I'm glad to be here with two very special expert guests who are much deeper on things like Kubernetes than I am. And I'm just excited to learn, one, what we've all thought was awesome, and two, something from your communities, especially. Hopefully we're going to walk through something fun, but we're going to do some live coding, have some good conversation. But first, who are we here with?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Abdel. I'm a developer advocate in the Kubernetes team.
Mofi, also developer advocate in the Kubernetes team.
Excellent. And I am still Aaron Wanjala, Java developer advocate. Although these days there's so much interesting stuff to do with Code Assist and with all the interesting AI tools coming out, that I'm writing more and more of that and less Java, but that's all good. And I'm going to start by actually going down the recap blog post that we have here, just because there's so much going on. You really don't want to miss any of the excitement, and so we're just going to talk through it and see if there's anything that jumps out at us.
How much time do we have?
There's never enough time. There's always another thing to talk about.
We announced a lot of things. Right?
We really did. We really did. Is there anything in this post that really jumps out at you two?
Well, I'll just jump straight into Kubernetes because I think we made this super awesome announcement for GKE, the GKE Inference Gateway. I can just briefly talk about it. So the GKE Inference Gateway is essentially an extension of this thing called the Gateway API. People who do Kubernetes know what it is. And it's designed specifically for inference workloads. And so the reason why this is important is because when you have LLMs running on Kubernetes, the typical type of traffic that you send to an LLM is not web traffic. It's not like short, frequent connections. You are sending a prompt, which is usually a long text. Sometimes it's video, sometimes it's like pictures. And then you might be actually streaming the response back from the LLM so that connection can be long. And then there is also other characteristics that traffic have that are important for load balancing. So how do you load balance web traffic is usually based on CPU utilization or memory utilization. But for LLM traffic, it could be based on the size of prompts, it could be the type of the prompt, etc., etc. So the GKE Inference Gateway is a feature in GKE that allows you to use a special gateway with a special type of load balancers for orchestrating LLM traffic, essentially.
Okay, no, that sounds useful. You're doing less of this like LLM-specific work yourself, and you're going to have to do it for every inference setup you do.
Exactly, and it's compatible with a lot of inference servers that are in the market. VLLM, the big one, but it's compatible with TGI and
Python from India.
Yeah, and so it's very exciting. We made the announcement, and we're actually contributing to upstream. So it's also the spec itself and a reference implementation is available in the open source space.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so that would work for like open source models like Gemma and...
It's mainly for self-hosted models.
Okay, that makes
mainly
sense.
for self-hosted models.
Yeah, because like if you're like calling the API to Gemini, we handle the API routing ourselves,
right?
Because you're not actively. So the reason Inference Gateway is so cool is that let's say you have your inference server set up across like multiple servers, right? And you want to route it to the, generally on load balancer, you route it to the closest region. But inferencing, like closest region doesn't really cut it because you need to get the response the quickest you can. And that depends on having the GPU that is the least utilized right now, right? Because the network cost of sending it across a different zone is actually lower than waiting for a GPU to have enough memory to handle your request, right? So the round-robin routing does not work for a LLM chat interface or video interface. You want to be having intelligence about how much GPU or TPU, KV cache, memory utilization, queue pressure, all that stuff is already, all that intelligence is bundled into Inference Gateway.
Okay, no, that makes sense. That is like a night and day difference between regular load balancing. So
yeah. And like when you're paying for a resource like TPU or GPU, you want to make sure that any given time you are utilizing it to the max possible.
Right.
So,
no, very cool.
Yeah.
And I really haven't had time to dig into a lot of this. Hopefully sometime in the future we have time to go through and actually implement.
Yeah, this is my next ritual, which is like post next, go back, open the list up and see like 200 different announcements, and try to, and oftentimes what happens is in an announcement of it, like it's like a one-line sentence, like we say, because it's so many, but then you dig into it and there's just so much to unpack in every single announcement we make.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's a lot. But there was a lot of, I heard actions If I got the dog every time I heard the agents.
Oh, yeah.
Next.
It's unbelievable. And I did a spotlight talk about agents and like what's now possible with like the mixture of agents and using them at every point of your SDLC. And we're actually going to walk through a sample of how to build with agents, how to build AI agents on Google Cloud now. So yeah, I feel like there's another like infinite world of like different things to do.
Yeah.
In that
All of the
space.
transmits. And then there is also that ADK, Agent Development Kit, which was a big announcement. So that's our Google Cloud opinionated development kit for agent, right?
And it's open source.
And it's open source. It's still in private preview, I think. I didn't think it's out yet, but it will be available soon.
Yeah, the doc is already available. Actually, I saw on the internet people are already building it, so it has to be public now.
Okay.
Like, yeah. Nice. We can actually, like, if you have the browser open, you can just look up ADK.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the blog post here, but why don't do you want to just try it out?
I mean, we happen to have a tool called Google Search.
Yes. We do. Okay, let's try it out.
Maybe spin it out. Yeah.
Agent Development Kit. Seeing a blog post here.
There might be some links somewhere. Yeah.
Introduce Agent Development Kit in.
It's probably going to send you to the to the blog. But here you go. Yeah, you have some code there.
It does look like.
Yeah, you could just pull the Python package today, actually.
I'm going to try it out.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I think let's find the GitHub repo for this, though. Like, let's just Google ADK GitHub.
It's there.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
There you go.
And there are a bunch of samples in this repo.
Oh, let's try it out. So we've got. Is there a getting started here?
You had this at the top of the page with samples, actually.
Sample folder, yeah.
Go down. More. It's just right there.
Docs and samples.
Yep.
Perfect.
And no, it's a different repo.
It's a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
Okay, install the ADK samples, set the environment variables. Okay.
Yeah, you need the Google Cloud project to put your agent once you built it, right?
Yeah, we can reuse the one I had ready for this. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, let's try it out.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
That's the spirit of live coding, right? Here. Yeah.
What's the worst that's gonna happen?
I mean, it doesn't work, and then we can figure out how until it works.
Exactly. That's the interesting part.
Exactly.
Okay, so I will check out the installation guide here, and I could run this on the Cloud shell, but I might just run it locally instead.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so ADK I think underneath uses GenKit to give you like also a UI to handle. Or GenKit is one of the targets for the large language model interface.
Oh, awesome.
Again, I have had maybe like 10 minutes to look into this, so I'm not an expert, obviously, but
you know what? Let me try the Cloud shell instead.
Yeah. But the point is, this is going to be so. One of the things I'm super excited about ADK is that there is going to be the capability of building out your own agents and having like an agent marketplace over time.
Yeah.
Which people will build out like very cool, interesting agents that you can pull together, almost like bundling different agents together to do really cool things. And I'm super excited about that one.
Yeah. And it's, as we said, it's our open-ended version because people could up to now do stuff with other tools like LandGraph.
Yeah.
And there was other ways of building agents.
I mean,
we just optimize for Google Cloud.
Almost like a perfect segue to do. We also announced A2A, agent to agent protocol.
I heard that word like the first to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, the thing Anthropic with MCP, which we're gonna actually have support for in Gemini Models. MCP is for how you open up your application to agents, right? Yep. A2A is how do you open up your agents to other agents.
Okay.
So it's basically almost like a one level up of abstraction on top of MCP.
Got it.
In some way, right? MCP gives you our agents access to things like database, your own application, your SAP database, whatever, right?
APIs.
Yeah, like a docs, anything you can think of that can have agents coming in and talking to it. A2A is like you have a bunch of agents sitting in different places, and this protocol will allow them to talk to each other and uses the same JSON RPC, similar to what MCP does. So it's kind of like almost like building on top without actually building on top.
So this is our like recommended path for making a mixture of agents. If you want to have a multi-agent system.
Maybe you want to zoom in a little bit in the Cloud shell. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
You can also bump up the font if you click on the triple dot on the corner, or no, sorry, the settings icon. You had it right, yeah. And then
text size. Font or text size?
Text size.
The font is small.
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay. And then Is that good?
That should be good.
Like
All right, cool. So yeah, all I've done is install make the VM, install our ADK, and verify it. So we have what we need, and I'm going to go back and go through the quick start.
Yeah.
Also, is that a different? It's a GitHub IO page. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was a different doc set.
No, it's just it's the same.
Okay, so I'm going to
clone the samples.
Clone the samples here.
Yeah.
And we'll go into the agents directory in the Cloud Shell.
Yeah, that's good.
By the way, as of like February, you don't need anything. You don't even need like a Google Cloud project. You can get Gemini Code Assist in the Cloud Shell in the ide.google.com for free. Without a Gmail account.
Oh, I think I've seen a tweet from Richard about it.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember. I mean, Gemini Code Assist, we made it possible free for personal use today. So if you have any IDE, technically, you can just go and install this thing called Google Cloud Code, and then Gemini Code Assist will be available for free.
Yeah.
But then if you don't have an IDE, then you can do IDE.google.com, and you don't need a GCP project, right? I think it's also available in IDX, Project IDX. So
Project IDX has been rebranded to Firebase Studio.
Oh, yes.
So again, if you have not seen Firebase Studio, we didn't even talk about Firebase Studio. It's like an all-in integrated IDE that will talk to, like, it's agentic behavior of like creating files, multi-file prompting. We need to be live for like next 2 weeks, talking about all the things we unpack, all the things we talked about. So
of changes here. I'm just trying to set the font size a little bit higher here.
yeah, you can just like go to the settings, search for fonts. Yeah, 18 should be good. Yeah, that's good.
18 should be good.
I mean, you're not gonna see it here because until you open up the file.
Right, I guess. It's not like the UI font size, but anyways.
Yeah, if you open up a file, that's gonna show up 18. So I think
So we have the sample pulled down. That's great. Now let's just go to the agents directory, look at the agents readme. All right. So
the one example we actually had it on the video that the announcement video went out was the travel concierge. So
yeah, you had the folder there called travel concierge.
Oh, okay.
And from what I have seen, like the coding semantics to talk to the building the agents would be very familiar to people that have been using things like LangChain of like building out, like you kind of have a prompt, have an agent, and what is the goal of this agent?
Yeah.
And then ADK kind of builds out the semantic of handoff very nicely. So you like from your original prompt, ADK will figure out which agent needs to do it, and the handoff that happens. Also, another fun fact, and I don't know if you're going to have the time or the capability to showcase here today, but ADK is natively multimodal. So the SDK itself gives you a voice. You talk to the agent straight from the SDK itself. So you don't really have to do anything special.
Okay.
You don't need to import extra like libraries to process like
that sounds like something I want to try, whether it's going to work or not.
Oh yeah, why not?
With our setup today, it may be tough, but I'm going to try it anyway.
You're going to need some. So unless you're already authenticated, you're going to need the Gemini API here available somehow. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and I might just have to do that off screen. But yeah, okay, I'm seeing a pretty comprehensive travel concierge overview.
Yeah.
Do you recommend we just start from the top?
I mean, let's look at let's look at some code.
Yeah.
Let's see what it's doing. Travel concierge might be like a more complex example. So if you can start with like a hello world version of this, might be easier to grasp. Like it's the last thing on the list of agents, right? So let's find one of the ones that are like a little bit maybe a little bit.
That, yeah. So the quick start was recommending which one? Let's see.
It's recommending to use the LLM auditor.
LLM auditor.
Yeah, I see it in the list.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see the README here. It's recommending that we install poetry.
Yeah. Let's open up the markdown for that one and see what it says.
Yeah.
I think you need to go into the proper folder.
Oh yeah, true. Let's see.
Agents, LLM, agents, then LLM auditor. Yeah.
Then we're gonna install poetry. And we already have that installed.
No, you have poetry installed. You have one more step there. Scroll up the last one to install the package and dependencies. Yep.
Install our poetry.
Oh. You're gonna do poetry install now.
Yeah, so I'm in the LLM auditor folder.
Now you do the poetry install. Yep.
Poetry. poetry install. Do I have to activate the VM first?
Oh yeah, you're on a different. Yeah, I don't see the virtual environment set
Yeah.
up already.
Was it vn bin activate?
No, I think it's source/ven/bin activate.
I am much more of a Java developer than a Python, but we're
So you're not in the right folder structure.
You need to be in the ADK Live, I think, because you created the environment inside the ADK Live folder.
Okay.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Try that. No.
Let's see where
it's dot vn. So I think it's dot vn, not the slash.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then we'll want to.
I think we also need to have poetry installed because now we're the last.
Yeah, now you do
command. No, like the pip install poetry.
Run the pip install again. Yeah.
Pip install poetry.
And now if you do a which poetry, we'll get to know actually poetry is installed or not. We should know before we
run. I haven't touched Python for a very long time.
Oh no, I had to do quite a bit of Python to do some fine tuning work, So
yeah.
So let's verify our poetry installation.
Yeah, looks like it is there. So let's navigate back into the folder structure again, and we'll run the poetry install.
I think you have one more folder to go into.
Yeah, we have to go to
the name of the actual
repo that it downloads.
ADK samples, agents.
It also helps to spell agents properly. That's also
I mean, soon we'll have agents to spell agents. So
yeah,
true.
Yeah, so that would be very useful.
Exactly. I'll build a dictionary agent that just fixes my spelling.
And do we already poetry install?
No. We're gonna do it in that folder because let's look at the file. I think there will be a file there that has all the poetry dependencies somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Let's open up the LLM auditor file on the folder in the while that runs.
Yeah.
On the left side, yeah. Like LLM auditor is a folder a little bit above.
Right. So I think I'm in that folder.
Okay.
And you might be seeing it a little bit delayed, but poetry lock gets generated here.
Yeah. Okay. So what is it the PyProject.toml that is the
try to open that PyProject.toml. That's what those I think are the
there we go.
Dependencies,
tool.poetry. So Python, Google ADK, Google Gen AI. So Google ADK is the ADK, Gen AI is the unified SDK.
SDK for talking to Gemini.
Yeah. And Pydantic is that a link to it?
Pydantic is I think I can look it up.
I
think it's for types.
Pydantic type hints.
Yeah. And then the Google Cloud AI platform, that's the package for talking to Vertex AI, essentially.
And we have two extras configured. Agent engine, is that newly released or?
I think it doesn't it deploy to like a Vertex AI agent?
Yes. Hosted agents.
Yeah.
So this is basically on Google Cloud AI platform. I think eventually this will just be part of the Google Cloud AI platform, but right now they are like add-ons almost to the platform.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Well, going back to the README here, let me pop open the preview. So you've installed it. Let's get our configuration ready to go. Configure the project, the location, and a storage bucket. I don't have a storage bucket, so I'll make one. And then I'll...
No, it's only required for deployment on agent engine.
We're not doing that.
We are doing that, yeah. Okay.
We are? Okay.
We deploy on agent engine. No?
I mean, we're going to run it locally and see the UI.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah, we'll do it locally. Okay, so we don't need that step. Authenticate our Gcloud account. Yeah, I mean, I think I'll already be authenticated being on Vertex.
Yeah.
You can't start running it again.
That's true. And so
you can just do Gcloud config list and you see if you're authenticated.
Yeah. It can never be too much authenticated.
I think you're good.
I'm good. And it's our project. And then using the ADK to run the actual agent, let's do it.
But I think you still need those environment variables because it uses the Gemini API, right? So it needs to know where to talk.
The ADC.
And in the project, have we enabled the Vertex APIs? We will find out if it doesn't run. We'll fix it then.
No, not those. Just scroll up a little bit more. So all of those except the last one, yeah.
Okay, so let's do that.
Did we set the variable Google Cloud project already?
No.
We should set them.
Yeah.
So the first one should be straightforward because I just setting something to true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The second one, you take that and then use your project.
Yeah, just to kind of add an additional point there. So we're setting the use Vertex AI to true. If we don't set that, we're going to basically use the AI Studio API key version of it. In this way, we're just using the Vertex API. So you don't have, as long as you're authenticated and your project has access to Vertex AI, we don't have to actually set anything. We'll just work.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's go with the good old
US Central
US Central one.
US Central 1. It can
The
go wrong.
default.
It can go wrong with US Central 1.
All reliable.
Bit of a fun fact, when we did the 65K demo last week, we actually created a cluster with 65,000 nodes on US Central 1.
Sounds good.
And funnily enough, like, it didn't even sweat. It just like 60,000 nodes, no big deal.
Okay, Okay, I'm gonna take a moment to brag a little bit. I've been to US Central 1.
Yeah.
You've been
Actual
the
data center.
Wow.
Yeah. I was working in Google data centers for a while, so
That's awesome. I feel like working in data centers is such a flex because like we all rely on them. Less than 1% of us will ever actually touch them.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do this in another window. We don't need
for
to-
authentication.
We don't need to see that stuff. The OAuth process is great, but not that exciting to watch.
You just
Yeah.
need to grab the code.
And enter quick.
No one saw anything.
That's security.
Yes.
Yeah.
Security by obscurity. That's the best type of security, honestly, if you ask me.
All right, so we're ready to run the LM on.
All right. Let's see if I mean that's the beauty of live coding.
Exactly.
If it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
That's how you know it's real, folks.
Yeah. Since we've been doing some vibe coding, is this live coding or vibe coding?
I mean, it is live coding.
Yeah.
Live coding would be basically going to Code Assist and be like, what should I run?
Yeah, we just have to pay less attention if we want it to be live coding.
That's true.
So user, what should we? Is this the part where we turn into a D&D stream, Mofi?
We have all been tricked.
To access last log, running is just. I mean, it says running, so I think it's running.
Oh, okay.
Let's give it a. This is you're not sending a username. This is the user prompt.
The user prompt.
So yeah,
But it has a web interface. Maybe open a new tab and run ADK web.
Sure.
yeah. So open up a new tab and let's do ADK web and. It doesn't have all the variables set. That would be interesting how that works.
What does Tmux do? Does it not copy them over?
You have to be in the right folder structure. I feel like.
That's probably helpful, yeah.
Yeah.
And also in the VM would be helpful too.
Yes.
Okay. ADK Live, agents, or samples, agents, monitor.
Yep.
But I have to back up and, well,
Do the VM stuff. Yep.
yeah, let me go push D to 3 back. Yeah, this is the right place, and then
Source.
Yep.
And then activate, pop D, and then now we're ready to do ADK.
No, that should.
ADK web.
And let's see if that doesn't require the environment variable.
Oh,
Very cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now
forward
you
shenanigans.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be in the.
Yeah, that's
oh, no,
up here. Yeah.
It's up.
Web preview, and I think it's already set to 8. Now you need to change it. No,
Oh, it's not 8080?
because it's
It's
8,000. Yeah,
Can I just edit the URL? I think so.
you can. I think. Yes. There you go.
Nifty. Wow.
An agent.
And so this looks a lot like GenKit. Is it GenKit?
I think underneath they use a similar stuff, like when you invent like a beautiful UI that already works.
Yeah.
But again, don't quote me on this one, but I feel that is the thing that's happening.
All right. Now we see if this works.
Yeah. So type a message.
Message.
LLM auditor. I don't know. Let's just see what it does with the. I am Mofi Rahman, the lead DM at Google Cloud. I need a full audit of my source material for a new game set in the lands beyond. Let's start with, missing key argument. API key. That's tough. Yeah.
Interesting. It needs an. No, because yeah. So go back to the console,
Okay.
and you need to re-export those variables.
Ah.
So shut down this, and then just. I think you can do just a search for exports.
I don't think it processes.
I know okay.
Oh yeah, I'm always confused about how Tmux works.
Because we didn't set the use Vertex AI to true, it's looking for the AI Studio API key.
Correct.
Okay. Well.
So
Excellent.
no. So no, because we run the web shouldn't matter, no.
Web again, the web ADK web is looking for the API key.
So yes.
We don't have Vertex true. Okay. So Vertex true.
And then set up the other thing because it will require a GCP project ID.
Yeah. This all follows. This all makes sense.
All good. This is typically when I will have a bash script.
Yeah, of course.
You can never go wrong with bash.
I mean, I would probably go a step further and probably go to a script that just builds and pushes the cloud run.
I think that's what they call CI. Yeah, okay, good. Just to be sure.
That's CD.
That's it. Okay. Who needs integration?
No, it's fine.
Oh, I lost my cool prompt. That's okay though. What can you help me with?
Yes, let's start with that.
Yeah, actually, we just like started the easy example. We didn't read what the example was for.
Oh,
403. Okay, so we don't have our
Vertex AI is not enabled. What?
enable it by visiting. I thought it was enabled.
I mean, this is a new project. We might not be enabled.
Yeah.
Oh, that is enabled. There you go.
That would do it.
That would do it. Okay, well, take 3. What can you help me with? Let me also zoom in a little bit here.
It's doing something. Oh, there we go.
All right, summaries of various topics, answer questions to the best of my knowledge, translate languages.
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. And I see a voice command here.
Yeah. You can just start talking to it.
Okay. Yeah. When, well, hold on. Are you able to hear me?
Oh,
It says speaking. I truly don't know if it
But
got me there.
what does speaking mean?
Yeah.
It's probably the speaker outputting the output, but
Yeah.
you don't have the.
Oh, yeah, I don't have my audio configured to listen to this. Okay, so it's like a bi-directional conversation.
Yeah,
I thought it was like I speak prompt into it. That makes sense. And it has video too? Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it uses Gemini, which is multimodal, so of course
Yeah.
it's going to be able to understand.
I'm gonna try just streaming a video to it and see if it might be my webcam here.
Yeah.
Hi, what does this look like to you?
I'm wondering if it's picking your microphone, actually.
It might not have.
Yeah, it might not be.
So this is likely not a problem with the actual platform, the actual tool. It's just that we have a very particular setup here when we're
Yeah.
streaming. So maybe I'll do another stream later and try this out. But I'm just gonna do some text commands here and see what this can do.
Did we read what the agent can help us with?
No, I kind of read it, but yeah, what can you help us with? Wide range of topics and questions, poems, code, musical pieces, email letters. So it's really just like a broad-based agent to help us with anything.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay. I don't know what LLM auditor means in this case.
I have no idea. Let's go back to the readme.
I'm sure the readme could help us here. Okay, so overview. Evaluates and improves the factual grounding of responses generated by LLMs. Its primary purpose is to serve as an automated fact-checking layer.
Oh,
Analyzing LLM answers against real-world information to enhance reliability. Why don't we quiz it on some Kubernetes questions? We have the 2 experts right here.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to ask it.
I'm running out of questions.
No, I think we should ask something new so that the model doesn't know.
Right.
So let's ask it about Inference Gateway.
what is Inference Gateway?
Let's see.
And so it seems like it's representing model 1, model 2. So it's like it has one answer, like one model answers the question, and then the other model evaluates that answer. So the first model's answer was, I don't know what this is. Like, I don't know at this time.
Maybe try what's the Kubernetes Inference Gateway
Yeah,
or the GKE Inference Gateway.
GKE Inference Gateway.
But this might not know it because does the model has grounding, like search, access to search?
I mean, that's based on the agent. We can add tools.
Yeah.
Go to the code and add tools. Yeah.
Okay, so here we got it's a managed service on GKE that simplifies deploying and managing machine learning models for online prediction. It features provides features like traffic management, auto scaling, and monitoring to help you serve your models efficiently and reliably. I can also provide information on a wide range of topics. Okay, so then it's just talking about itself.
So the first prompt is, so it's step 2 models, one that answers the question and the other one kind of check the answer.
Yeah,
We're guessing at this point. Let's go look at the code and see what it actually is doing.
let's do that.
Because,
So yeah, it says this agent evaluates and improves the factual grounding of responses generated by LLMs. So it serves an automatic fact-checking layer, analyzing LLM answers against real-world information to enhance reliability.
Yeah.
So let's look at some code. The LLM editor folder right there. So there's the green. So there's a LLM editor folder inside the LLM editor folder.
Yeah, that's what he opened.
There we go.
Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
You're a little bit behind, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we have agent.py.
I mean, that's like the place to be.
So we have a sequential agent here defined as the auditor, where its description is evaluating the LLM answers, verifying the accuracy, and responding to ensure alignment with real-world knowledge.
Okay.
So we have two agents built in. One is the critic agent and the reviser agent. So let's see where those agents' code is.
And I'd love to see if we have, okay, yeah, this one has Google Search as a tool enabled.
Yeah.
There's the grounding. And what does is there a critic prompt? Let's see what that actually says. Your professional investigative journalist. I love how many services in like all over, not even just at Google. You look into the service and it's really just like a well-written prompt.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, it's a useful prompt and people just get something out of it. So why do more? Yeah, your professional investigative journalist selling at critical thinking and verifying information before it gets printed into a highly trustworthy publication.
This is the critic agent.
Yeah.
There's a reviser agent too. Let's see how that is going on.
Very cool. So we have an investigative journalist on the case. And then what else do we have? We have
the reviser agents, which also uses. Okay. And then you're a professional editor working on highly trustworthy publications. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have one agent that generates the prompts, and then the reviser will just revise the prompts, right?
Yeah, you are. In this task, you are given questions compared to the intent to the publication.
And it's asking for one of a class of answers, either accurate, inaccurate, disputed, unsupported, or not available.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a categorization problem that's typical for LLMs. Can you go back to that agent? Does the reviser also have? It doesn't have grounding, right?
No, the reviser does not have grounding. And they're both on 2.0 Flash. That's an important consideration here.
Yeah.
So 2.0 Flash with grounding for the critic, but not for the reviser.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Interesting. Okay.
And that explains why the responses are pretty quick. So let's see.
We should ask something that is like about opinions, right? So that we can actually test the factuality.
Yeah, maybe like something like what is the best way to do something?
Yeah, so like, okay, what is the best way to build a board gaming table?
Okay, to build a board gaming table.
Actually, well, we already said that. I wanted to say the start a new session because of the history.
Yeah, I think it is kind of bleeding into the previous one. So let me do exactly that. Okay, what is the best way to start to build a board gaming table?
All right.
Maybe we can even take a look at like the eval, the state, and the artifact to see where the agents, because
And next time I'm going to turn on streaming because I understand
we can see the response.
Okay, so planning and design, we will break down the process, determine the size of the table. Common sizes range from 4x6 to 5x7.
Isn't that too small? 4x6 to 5x7?
No, that's a fleet.
So that's pretty big. Let me also
freedom units.
Yeah, that's why I asked you.
Let me also check in the chat. If anybody has any questions or things they want to see us ask the agent, please let us know.
I mean, we have other examples we can run. This is like a one simple version of it. We can probably now that we are all experts in ADK.
Yeah, now that we're certified. Hello from Norway. Please let us know where you're tuning in from. And yeah, if you have any questions about Kubernetes, agents, we're here for you. So we'll take
I want to actually take a look at all the other with tabs, like state, artifacts. What is the state holding?
I don't think we have any state.
Okay.
Artifacts, nothing. Sessions, eval. Oh, okay. We can create new evaluation sets.
Interesting. Okay. Here's input examples for assessing agent performance. Oh, interesting.
Good.
Wow.
Okay, so it's saying not applicable for this. Decide on table's features.
So that's the reviser.
That's the reviser.
Oh, interesting. So it gets the answer from the critic and then classify it.
So reviser seems like it has the ability of rewriting certain things, right? So let's ask for even more opinionated piece of something like I can't even.
Maybe something Kubernetes related. Like, what do you? So I feel like there's all kinds of things where it's.
Or we could do like what are Kubernetes security best practices?
Yeah, okay.
That could be one. Let's create a new session again.
Let's do it.
And also enable token streaming, yes, for sure.
New session. Okay. I don't need to delete the session.
Just make new session.
New session, token streaming. What are Kubernetes best practices? Security practices.
Security. Yeah.
I need an agent to free me from typing.
Typing is hard when you're live.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was so fast. Okay.
There are some Kubernetes. Okay, regularly update Kubernetes. Enable use network policies. Implement Okay, secret management, monitoring, but it doesn't classify. It didn't classify those.
It doesn't seem to be.
I think that this is because this is very factual. Like
Yeah, like yeah.
This might be directly pulled from something.
What would be like?
You can tell me why you cannot run databases on Kubernetes.
Oh, yeah,
Let's try that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can actually keep it in the same context.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Why should you not run databases?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what that will do.
And I don't know the answer, so I'm interested.
The provided.
The previous answer doesn't discuss running databases.
It's a new. You just do a new.
Okay,
new session.
Okay.
Yeah. Why should you? I think these are very like streamlined sessions. It's like you're focusing on one topic. It's like one line of questioning.
Yeah.
per
So
session.
you cannot just switch topic on the same
Yeah.
session. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, we could probably build agents that can do it, but in this example that we're building, it's very.
Yes.
This is your job. This is what you do.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Should know. Okay.
So running databases can present several challenges:
Challenges.
complexity, data persistence, performance overhead, operational overhead, backup and restore.
Sounds very generic. Answer.
No, not
Yeah, go down. Then it
it's
goes.
the same thing.
Again, one more time. However, it's worth it. Okay. I mean, it's providing a comprehensive answer, right?
Yeah,
It's,
definitely. Okay. And then we're
there we go,
evaluating the
there we go.
claims.
Accurate. So everything is accurate. Disputed. Here we go.
Disputed, okay.
The overhead can impact database performance, especially for low latency sensitive applications.
oh yeah. You were saying okay.
There we go. That's interesting. Okay.
And it says while the overhead can exist, the impact is highly variable, depends on numerous factors, workload. Some setups might see a negligible impact, some would see a significant one.
I think we just made the agent give us like a consultant answer, which is
No.
it depends.
I mean, yes. But the other thing I can actually immediately see from this is that let's say you are someone or a team that writes blogs, right? And oftentimes you're writing technical blogs and you have sometimes you don't know everything you don't know.
Yeah.
And you can have multiple agents actually work together to do something like do fact check, also play devil's advocate. Say like be a negative critic.
Right.
That can help you kind of pre-answer all the negative things people can say about the thing you write before. So it can kind of help you write more factual, more disambiguated answers to things.
Yeah, I've seen the use case similar to what you were talking about, which is for technical writers that write technical documentation. If you have like code built into the documentation or you have commands, you can basically build an agent that will go evaluate if that code is correct,
Right.
Yeah.
or if that command will run,
Yeah.
so that you make sure that your documentation is accurate, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like in our docs, this is actually a long-term effort we've been doing over and over again. Because again, we have, believe it or not, a lot of docs,
Yes.
and in our docs, kind of like getting the tone right, or because like each doc is written by a human somewhere, and their own tone kind of bleeds in. But the agent like this can kind of become the impartial judge.
Right.
I can say this doc does not follow the tone of other docs that I have seen before.
Yep.
And this is you can kind of like automate of like going through millions of lines of documentation over like a couple of hours and go like, okay, if I identified like 40 docs that has like a more, like for example, using third person from like you should do this versus I did this
Yes.
in the doc,
guide.
and finding all of this manually is a nightmare.
Yeah,
The agent can have to go through.
Absolutely. No, and I feel like this. I would use this in a case where like I am putting out maybe like it's a launch for something, and there's samples that we have to use. We definitely have to use them. I've been looking at them for so long, and I just want a second set of eyes to be like, are there any like obvious holes that I'm missing?
Yeah.
And the intense focus of this agent or this system would be a benefit there, because I can keep asking questions about just this sample that I'm talking about. It kind of treats everything else with blinders.
With tool use, I could also see a world where I write like let's say tutorial and pass it on to agent to say, okay, do nothing that the tutorial doesn't say.
Yeah.
Can the agent get to the final result?
I've been looking for something that would help with like automated testing of code labs.
Yeah.
I want to keep them fresh. I want to make sure that like with dependencies changing so fast that like the major versions of everything still support what I wrote. So like that could really help here.
Yeah, like we again have a lot of tutorials and such, and over time, as you said, like things update, things change. And if I'm the person writing the tutorial, what ends up happening is the thing you said, I am blinded by my own knowledge, where either my computer just have some binary installed, that the user may or may not have installed, which I'm just going to ignore because I'm just doing it over and over again. But someone new tries it, all of a sudden it doesn't work on that machine, right? So this seems like a really good way to kind of build out a pipeline to do automated testing, automated kind of like sanity check.
Really
actually, you remember last week when we were in London, we were talking about like some documentation that has a problem with, like there are instructions for setting an environment variable, and then when you scroll down all the way to the end of the page, then the environment variable that you are supposed to use is not the same that the one you set up. And then when you were trying it, you know what you are doing, so you could fix it. But you could like write an agent that can check the consistency. Is this documentation consistent across the board? Is like somebody forgot something, and then you know that or like use an environment variable that they haven't exported or something like that.
Like a pretty simple one, right? On Google Cloud, let's say you do the G-Cloud auth login, right? After you did do the login, then you go and set up the zone or the region that you want to run it against. If I am using on my computer, I wrote one doc and then I go to write the next doc, my region and everything variable is already set up. So I might not even notice that that's something I have to do because I do that all the time where my brain has short-sighted. So short-circuit is that path. It's like doing that automatically.
That's your human hallucination.
So I might not write that down, but if someone is trying that particular path fresh, they might run into that situation, right? So I can already, again, this is super fresh, super new. People are trying this out, and people are going to build amazing, cool things. But from this short interaction, I can already see so many pathways to take it forward.
I can see a lot of value here. I feel like we could, get our feet into some more complicated agents here, but I do just want to hear, like, is there an answer you were looking for with like the why not run databases on Kubernetes?
I mean, it's the whole thing, but I think the right answer, in my opinion, would be there was a time where it was not a good idea, but over time we actually invested a lot of time and effort into making stateful seg, which is the primary driver of doing stateful workload like database on Kubernetes, really good. So now I think 2025, if you want to, you could, but that goes into a different problem of like you can run database, but does your team have the expertise of becoming DBAs all of a sudden? Just because you can run database, can you run it well?
That's fair.
Like Kubernetes will run it, but can you actually manage the complexity of managing a database well?
I think generally speaking, the whole idea of running stateful versus stateless applications on Kubernetes is a debated topic. And if you would go to talk to the community, if you talk to 10 people, you get 10 different answers. You just go ranging all the way from yes, you could do it, or you can do it, to no, you shouldn't do it, to any nuanced answer in between, right? So so it seems like it captures some of these nuances as well. So it's very good.
Very cool. All right, do we want to try out another one of the agents here in this folder?
I can't see any reason not to.
Let's see.
I mean, I feel like on any type of live stream, right? If we don't run into a failure condition, I don't think we have done live coding justice.
We haven't pushed it far enough.
We didn't push it far. We just tried the basic example, which immediately worked.
Let's try this one called customer service.
Customer service.
There we go.
All right, so down in the README, we open up a preview. So the Symbol Home and Garden Center customer service agent is designed to provide a seamless and personalized customer service experience for our customer. It leverages Gemini to understand customer needs, offer tailored product recommendations, manage orders, schedule services. It's designed to be friendly, empathetic, highly efficient, ensuring the customers receive the best service possible. Fantastic. Customer service bot, very in demand right now.
Yes.
Quite a lot of parts here, a lot of tools, I think, that it has access to.
Those are all tools, right? Yeah.
Okay. So
those are sub-agents or sub-tools under the main agent.
Yeah, I mean, let's just dig into the code here and see what it's like. We got customer service, we have a tools folder, but we also have agent.py. Let me see what that says.
I think agent.py would be the top-level agents. I think on the customer service agent is the one that's going to have some sort of handoff, because the previous one were just sub-agents. I want to see an example of actual agent handoff, which I saw an example of in the video. I'm excited by it. So let's see if we can find something of that.
I don't know if this is going to be the one that has it, because it has like 11 tools. I don't see anything about.
So it's not a multiple agent. But it's fine.
What about that one that was the concierge one?
That would be the multi-agent setup, actually. Let's go to that one. That's the bottom of the folder.
The travel concierge all the way in the bottom.
Travel concierge is good.
Let's look at the README. I think that one was multi-agent.
I think that has 3 different agents, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
multi-agents,
yeah.
Architecture, I see 3 agents sharing.
3 agents and sharing this. Yes.
All right, cool, perfect. That's the kind of complexity we're looking for here.
Yes.
Right. Drag this over. All right, so Flash 001.
So that's a root agent.
Yeah.
And then
we have an inspiration agent, planning agent, booking agent, pre-trip agent, in-trip agent, and post-trip agent.
Yeah.
This is like a whole, this is like
raw architecture.
So we can basically, again, in case you did not know, next 2025 is happening in Las Vegas.
Yes.
We could just imagine this agent was available to us like a week in advance before we came here. So we could actually ask.
Interesting.
We could actually ask the agent, because again, all of us are working. We're responsible adults and work during the day. Let's run the agent and ask it to give us a day-by-day itinerary for activities during the night in Las Vegas.
Yeah. To do, appropriate activities to do during the night.
Yes. Safe for work activities.
Yes. Very clear about that
Yeah,
one.
let's be very clear for sure.
Okay.
Scroll all the way down to like the setup.
Yeah,
So,
let's
right?
I mean, I'm going to assume, I'm going to go out on the and say the setup is going to be very similar to like ADK Web. So kill the last one and just run ADK Web in this folder. I think we should be good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to run poetry install one more time because we have more tools than we have here.
So we do travel concierge and poetry install.
Yeah.
So is poetry?
Poetry is a package manager similar to Pip.
It will actually require more things because there is like a Google Places API that you need, and there is another storage bucket, but that's for deployments. I think that's
the only thing is the Places API key.
It is Google Places.
That's from Cloud. Just search for Google Places.
I ran out of space on my Cloud Shell here.
Nice.
Cloud Shell only has 5 gigabits of storage, so if you.
I mean, yeah, it's a Linux environment on the cloud for free forever. So I feel like.
Let me get rid of my three Hello Worlds. There we go. That'll do it.
All right.
No, don't want to close this section.
And then we run that poetry install again. Yeah.
Yeah. So poetry is not a like agent or anything.
It's nothing to do with agents. It's
just dependencies.
Okay. I think one of the reasons, and I could be wrong because I'm not a Python developer myself. What I would say though, in Pip world, there is no idea of package A needs package B, package C needs package B, but if they don't have the same version requirement, I think poetry tries to solve that problem.
I see.
So if you have because on the agent world, we're installing so much package under the hood,
right?
It can kind of help you. If your two packages are pulling the same thing, it will try to find the middle ground.
Okay.
Again, don't quote me or don't on this one but that's my understanding of what poetry does.
It's pretty much Maven for.
Yeah. Too late, Mofi. You're already on the record. Here we're quoting it. And I always find it like very interesting how different spaces like web development had this. JS absolutely specifically have this, where like you have package management tools growing up out of nothing, and then they're all kind of becoming versions of Maven with like mature transitive dependency management.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And I'm just like watching the calendar, I'm like, oh yeah, that feature's been in there since like 97. Like, very cool.
I mean, I feel like so. For example, some of the newer languages, for example, Go and Rust. Again, Go is 15 years old, so new is a wrong word. One of the things you'd see, the language comes bundled in with all package management. Like Rust has a really good understanding of package management as part of the language itself. Yeah. So, I mean, it was kind of the product of its time, but so
I don't think you need to export those. I think that's a file. Go up a little bit. There was instructions there. At the top, make a .env by copying. Oh yeah, so you have that file. You can just copy that and call it. What was it? .env.
So just replay the copy. Move the file to actually make a copy and then change the file name to just .env. Yeah. We also have a package in there called python.env, which basically automatically will load up the .env and put it in the right places.
Yeah, and then you can basically set all your environment variables.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff that we don't quite have here. We're going to need a Places API key. We're going to need to configure a storage, create a storage.
No, that's for deployments. We are not going to deploy. We will run it locally. So we don't need that. So set the first one to true, right? Because we're using Vertex AI.
Yeah.
Then you can actually get rid of the second one.
And then get rid of the second one. We don't need that. Then set your project's ID and location.
Yeah. We do already have these, but they'd be overridden. So Java API 3 and location US Central 1.
Yep. It will get ignored regardless.
Just ignore that. Just comment on top of it at the beginning.
So for the Places API?
Yeah.
No, we need that because that's the one that does the inspiration and what we can do.
Okay, so I guess I'll have to go get an API key for that.
Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Go to
maybe a window with.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that off stream here while you guys talk about something
fun.
Fun.
Yeah, so I think like the behavior of this agent, like what would be interesting here. I'm actually excited about seeing this live for myself. is the handoff, where each agent does part of it and then pass it on to the next agent. And then I feel like with this, you can also start thinking about like almost like parallel execution.
Yeah.
This one is very linear. You do A, B, C, D, right? Like you have agent A does the inspiration, then do pre, then do booking, then do post, right? Like that kind of like a flow.
Yeah, it's sequential.
Sequential. But you can also start seeing like, okay, I have 3 locations I'm researching, and like go off and do the research and come back and combine the results.
And is ADK, is that's orchestration? Is it part of ADK?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so-
that's pretty interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know how mature that is at this point, but I feel like from seeing the design language I've seen so far in ADK, that seems like something that is in the plans.
Okay.
All right.
You have your key there.
Have the key. Do we need anything else in there?
Yeah, no, just scroll down.
I think we need the storage bucket.
We
No,
don't need
just
that.
delete that.
You can just leave it as is because it's not gonna until you try to deploy it.
Or
It's not
comment.
gonna try to look for
Okay,
it.
here you go.
Okay, commented, and then we have our scenario. Well, I guess we're going to change that scenario.
Oh, you will have to. It has a sample called the Seattle example. Go to the documentation. I think the documentation will ask you to pip install, create the file, good. The authentication, you're already authenticated.
Yep.
Activate the environment, we're already activated.
Yeah,
Then move on down.
running the agent. So
Oh, okay.
I think we need to change that JSON because I think it's going to be set for Seattle, like you were saying.
No, but the Seattle one is commented out. So
Yeah, once we run the agent, it's gonna be like a text interface where you type it in.
Oh, okay, great. So
Yeah.
we don't have the email.
Yeah, you're gonna just do the ADK web.
let's look at that file anyway. What's inside?
empty default. Yeah, let's see. Maybe it'll give us like scaffolding on what we're expecting here.
So /eval, where's the right there? Yeah.
Where it is,
It already has a bunch of things. Okay.
We're vegan. Okay,
Yeah, good.
interesting. Sure.
Let's see if it will find you some vegan food in Vegas,
Yeah.
right?
So okay, we are okay. That's presumptuous, but sure.
It's maybe where we set the safe for work aspect of the itinerary for Vegas.
Yeah, I don't know.
Preferences, likes family friendly.
Oh, this is the folder that is state. Like in a previous example we ran, we didn't have a state. This time we have state. So
Ah,
have some state about what the agent is about, right? So
Okay,
I like you. So you like family-friendly activities and dislike not family-friendly activities.
non-family.
dislikes not having a job anymore.
Getting
Dislike
fired.
being unemployed.
Okay, so address here, Mandalay Bay.
This is the thing I want
But that's your home address.
Home address.
And then how are you gonna get there driving? But that's in California, so
That's pretty
it's
far.
gonna be a very long. Just leave it. Just leave it. We'll see what the agent will do.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Actually, local prefer mode is drive, but our
Yeah, but local prefer mode.
yeah. So while we're here, we want to drive. Actually, let's say walking. I don't want to drive. Let's
Yeah.
use the drive to walking.
And then, so we're in Origin. I don't know. It doesn't matter. San Diego. Let's say we're coming from San Diego. We're ending up in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And we're starting on April 9th.
Yep.
And we're ending on April 11th, sadly.
Yes.
Outbound flight selection. You decide that. Room selection. I don't know. That's fine.
Top
So what does the state mean? Like you give
So
it,
basically, almost like you're presetting some context for the agent as the agent
Got it.
looks for things. Again, how that actually works, we need smarter people than I to tell you that. But I feel like that's what it.
did you run it first? I don't think
No,
you ran.
you're
the
gonna
agent.
run the ADK web. Actually, you already run it. Or?
Yeah, I think I just ran the ADK web. Or was there a different command? I forget.
Let's
you need
do
to-
that and
Oh,
okay.
there we go. Yeah, cool. Okay. ADK
Our
web.
browser window should already be there because here's the page. Like,
Okay, so we're selecting the travel concierge agent.
All right,
Very
there we
cool.
go.
lovely.
Turn on streaming.
Streaming.
Yeah, let's
Now-
basically say that I will be in Vegas for work, but I want to do something at night for the week
I will be in Vegas for work,
after hours.
but I want to do fun
Family
Safe.
friendly
work activities
after
after
hours.
hours while I'm there.
Well,
What do you recommend? And then we're going to have a gang of butlers to give us
Yeah.
recommendations. There's like 9 agents to talk to here. Wow,
So yeah, the transfer to agent stuff. I'm super excited about like how that actually
Oh, wow.
comes into practice.
cool. So transfer to agent.
It's all happening. You don't have to do anything. I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay, these aren't like actions that I have
No,
to
no,
take.
no. However you do it. It's just like you can scroll down.
yeah, it tells you that it's like
It's doing it.
handing off to a different.
Yeah, so we're seeing it transferred to the police agent and it's thinking. So for now, the transfer to agent. That's one of the agents. Is that one of them? I could go look at it actually.
Yeah, just like ADK is telling you that it's transferring your request to sub agent, because there's like a root agent which receives the prompt, and then it has like multiple sub agents that does multiple things. And I think here it's just showing you the orchestration actually.
Very cool. And yeah, we can see
you
the
have the
state
states,
here.
yeah.
It is aware of everything we put. And so I wonder if it's waiting for a human in the loop response here, because it's asking if any of these are.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you need to give it like an extra.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I can give you some general blah blah blah. How about I use Las Vegas as a starting point? Okay, you have a museum, you have a theme park.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned safe for work.
Yeah, let's also say like I like a good, interesting food experience.
Yeah. We
Any particular? Oh, okay. Would you like me to explore other options?
Let's see what you have for food experience.
Yeah,
unique. Let's put the word unique in there.
Food experiences.
Actually, this would be good for me. I have one more night at Vegas. You could probably even get some use out of it today.
Yeah, let's find something.
See.
Okay, so it's looking into fine dining, casual eats. Oh, it's got a lot for us.
That's actually fun.
Because the map tool, you have the Places API. The agent can now use the web tool to find out locations. This is beautiful.
That is awesome. And I like that it calls out which aspect of it is doing which part. It's not just an ambiguous response that you're like, maybe that came from this agent, maybe it came from this tool. It tells you.
So this is where it uses that Places API to call Google Maps, right? So
correct.
Oh wow.
Lotus of Siam. Actually, some Thai cuisine sounds awesome to me.
I was actually looking for a place to eat yesterday, and I saw it on Maps.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just impressed.
So in that case, you are your own agent. But
I'm not aware that this tool exists.
So
because yesterday there was a bunch of people trying to go out to eat, so they added me to a chat room, and then they give me the task of finding a place to eat.
So yeah, in case people don't know, every time we're out and about at a conference, Abdel is generally our
the food guy.
Finds the best place to So.
And we have a question from Ravi saying, "What is the GitHub URL for this?" Great question. We started off at github.com/google/ADK-samples, and then we just kind of went down.
The base URL was ADK. That's where the code is, and then ADK samples is where the samples are.
Yeah. And we walked in with nothing up our sleeves. Like we didn't really have. We had something else planned, and then this seemed more cool, so we just tried it out.
Nice.
So please feel free to go try it out yourself. Thanks for the question. I'm going to keep pressing here and see if we can get anything cool.
Let's see if the agent is waiting for any more questions from us. Honestly, I saw.
Actually, no, because it has a booking.
Yeah.
So it said, are either of these appealing? So let's say, can you book me? For 4 people at Lotus Siam for April 11?
Yeah.
That's 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Because I think it did have a booking submission.
Yeah, but I think they're just gonna they're gonna do a mock data. Let's try it out. Let's try it.
I am the inspiration.
I don't have the ability to book reservations.
Okay, but that's an agent. Again, the thing is that as let's say the Google Maps or that particular restaurant as an agent for booking.
Yeah.
When the A to A comes into play in this system, then this agent can then talk to this other agent to end up externally from your own collection to work with the other agent to book something.
And didn't we announce something around like agent marketplace?
That's part of ADK.
Oh.
So in this case, if you are, for example, a company like the Fork that handles booking for restaurants,
100%.
you could just provide your own agent that integrates with your own API for booking.
Right.
And then with A to A, agents to agents, then you can make these agents call the Fork agent to make the actual booking, right?
Interesting. Yeah, you could be the top layer of providing that extra service on top of what the agents are pointed towards. Yeah,
because if you want to automate booking for with this tool, you will have to basically implement API specific calls, because every tool is different, and every all of these booking tools are all different, right? So if they provide the interface, then you can just use it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, no, this has been an amazing ride. Thank you both for coming.
Absolutely.
We are coming up to the end of our time, but yeah, I'm glad you both came on to explore all these agentic topics and all the new experiences coming out of Next. Do you have any parting words for the audience?
Yeah. Well, we have a number other than the agents, right? So agents are cool, build applications with agents, but on the Kubernetes side, we have so many new announcements that happen. So look through them. That's going to make your life using containers on Google Cloud so much better. Even better than it already is. It's already amazing, but it can be life is good, but it can be better.
Right. No, and for me, like you saw it on the first day when we streamed on Wednesday. You've seen it now. The experience of developing like the local inner development loop for working on AI tools and images is changing rapidly. It's getting much easier to do this stuff. It's getting much easier to test what you want to work with before you actually have to spend up any services on like a cloud platform or even like pay for a whole bunch of model access. So I would try things out and get a feel for it before you feel like you have to make a full service out of it. Because it's getting more fun to do so.
Yeah, I mean, also this ADK works with Ollama. Ollama can run locally. You can actually plug in instead of using Gemini model, which already is like dirt cheap to use it. But you could also use your like locally hosted Ollama model, which is even better.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. It is a goodbye for us for now, but hopefully you'll see more from us just after next when we start publishing a whole bunch of what's new, what's cool content. So we'll see you around. Thank you very much.
Thank you.